welcome to Facts at Five. This is Michael Clark. I'm here at the LTV studios in Waynescott, New York, with my special guest, Peter Van Scoyoc, the town supervisor for East Hampton. Welcome, Peter.
Hello, Michael. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Hey, we got some big news happening, right? We got a lot of things going on. What do you do all day, Peter, anyway? Jesus. You know?
What don't I do all day?
I know you got a lot going on.
Supervisor, the number of different things that come across my desk in any given day is quite broad and diverse, and sometimes surprising things come across the desk. So that's what keeps it interesting and engaging.
I bet it does. But the big news obviously is vaccinations, and why don't you fill us in on that, because my wife just went in, she signed up on the new website, said it was great. And then we got the second round of the first ever vaccinations in the town of East Hampton on this Saturday. And so why don't you fill us in on that, Peter?
Well, we empathize with everybody's frustration about being out here on the East End, being underserved. All the vaccination centers were, Stony Brook and further west. And, I just felt it was really crucial to get a vaccination center here on the South Fork, and preferably one right here in East Hampton. So we just decided to go ahead and build one this year. And we took the CDCH building, which the town owns and has been sitting vacant, and we've turned it into a Department of Health CDC compliant vaccination center, with the idea that build it and that, vaccine will come. And guess what? The vaccine has come. So we put together as we put together the site. We had our first doses ever given in East Hampton for such a site on the 13th. We'll be doing second doses of that group on Saturday. But in addition to that, this week, there's another 1,400 doses that we're going to be giving to East Hampton residents.
Yeah.
Either through referrals with the hospital, and we understood that the hospital had just found out that they would get another 1,000 doses, and so we've had the site up, the registry's in place, so we're taking names off that registry. It's pretty frantic. We only found out yesterday that the doses were actually going to be available, and so we're scrambling to make sure that all those shots are allocated to East Hampton residents, and then we'll have an additional dose of 300 doses coming for first doses for folks with comorbidities. Again, we've asked everybody to sign up on the town's newly dedicated vaccine website, which is East Hampton Town, ehtownvaccine.org. So if you go to ehtownvaccine.org, pre-register, get your name on the list, and as allotments become available, and if you're in that eligibility group, you will be notified in the order that you've registered. We'd love to be able to just have people sign up for vaccination times and dates, but the vaccine delivery is so uncertain that we're not allowed to actually schedule appointments until we have confirmation of an allotment, and then only based on whatever that allotment is directed for in terms of eligibility. That's a little bit frustrating on our part, but any vaccine we can give to anyone in town of East Hampton as a resident is certainly welcome.
But and that's the way it's kind of been, Peter, right? Since the very beginning when this started, and you and the folks on the board decided to do this in East Hampton, it's wait until the last minute. I meant, because I volunteered over there at the site, that we got notified like the night before. I mean, we had an inkling it was going to happen, but it wasn't certified until the night before. And I guess that's going to be the course probably throughout this, right?
At least for the immediate future, until the vaccine distribution becomes more reliable. And again, I'm hoping that the governor and the state will open up the vaccine to allow anybody who's in one of those eligible categories to get vaccinated with any allotment of vaccine. It certainly would make everybody's life a lot easier. We did the first ever town vaccination pod on all of Long Island on the 13th. And that group was constrained to 1B essential workers. So we were able to do many of the volunteer firemen and first responders within the town. We started to be able to do some of the teachers and grocery store and deli workers, frontline essential, workers in those categories, some transportation drivers. And we know we have hundreds of teachers still working within East Hampton school districts who are unvaccinated. We'd love to be able to get them vaccinated. These specific allotments that we're getting right now, we can't do 1B essential workers with. We can only do, in the case of, the Friday vaccine, over 65, which is certainly, an eligible group and a group that we have plenty of seniors who've been desperate to get vaccine and have transportation or mobility issues. So being able to bring vaccine right here to East Hampton is really important. And then on, the next pod will be comorbidities, underlying health conditions, obviously another group that will significantly benefit from getting vaccine. These are high priority groups, but having the flexibility to bring in with any one of those categories, others who are already qualified would be a great advantage.
Right.
So give us more flexibility in scheduling and broaden the reach of vaccine within the community.
Now, Peter, how is it? Are you feeling an impact with the volunteers? I know we cut you cut the list off because you were getting volunteers, a lot of volunteers, which was great. But now with the influx of these vaccines coming in and going to be coming in different days, different times, are you going to be needing more volunteers to sign up? How is that going to work?
So currently, I think we're okay for volunteers this week. We may open that up again, requesting volunteers in the near future, depending on people's availability. We don't want to burn out our volunteers either, but as of this moment today, we're still have only completed one pod, but there'll be 3 more completed. And again, I ask you to just go ahead and pre-register on the town website, ehtownvaccine.org, and we can get to you as soon as possible. And right now, as of this moment, we went live on Tuesday at noon. Well, as of 10 o'clock on Thursday, we already had almost 2,500 people registered, town residents registered. So that's going to be very helpful for us to direct vaccine to our residents and just to know kind of how many people are still left unvaccinated in the town. That's a top priority for me right now, has been since the first of the year. We've turned the CDCH building around and completed that as a vaccination site in very short time. Our buildings and ground staff should be commended. Councilman David Lease worked on that as the liaison quite a bit.
Yep.
Had our local healthcare professionals, Dr. Gil Schoenfeld, Dr. George Dempsey have been involved with this vaccination committee that I put together to help pave the way to where we are today. We had a local resident who owns a medical data and technology company, Thomas Sessa of the Autonomy Group. He's a principal in that company who's helped us turn this website into a reality in this registration system in just a matter of days. We've spent countless hours going through trying to prepare that site. That site, is up. We needed to get it up as fast as possible. Still needs a few little tweaks. All in all, it's good. We've built the site. We've translated it into Spanish. The Spanish registration's going live if it's not already as time of this airing. And we've put out press releases about it in both English and Spanish and across all our social media platforms. And, anybody out there who's watching this show, tell your friends, relatives who are East Hampton residents about it and get them to register. Again, it's ehtownvaccine.org.
Yeah, this is really exciting news, Peter. It's and I'm sure people are going to be going to the website in droves to sign up. And like I said, we found it very easy to sign up, and the setup over at CDCH building is really quite amazing. And kudos to you and your whole staff for pulling this all together. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to follow on this on a day-to-day basis. So people should check your website and stay involved. We'll be running stuff on LTV on the crawl. We're getting information out to people as quickly as we can. So this is just wonderful. What else, Peter, is going on? There is other business, I am sure, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's always other business on top of all of this, which, and again, I'll just ask that people please not call my office right now because of the vaccination center and whatnot going on. You probably won't be able to get through on the phone anyway due to the high call volumes. Please just try to send an email or just go to the website and register, get the information you need. That'd be really helpful for at least the next couple of days or so. But there's a lot of other things going on. I think one of the more pressing things that's come back to front burner is Army Corps of Engineers FIM project. It's a Fire Island to Montauk Point reformulation study. Last spring, the chief's report was finalized, and basically bottom line for East Hampton is that the part of that project includes major sand-only beach replenishment for the downtown beach in Montauk, about 450,000 cubic yards of sand pumped on the beach. We've had a pretty strong storm season this year. The bags, the emergency stabilization project's been exposed. The sand's all been washed away. The hotels are right on the precipice there. I don't think, unless there's a really major long-term nor'easter, that they're threatened, but they certainly would have been at this point if not for that stabilization project. But it's really important that we get the sand back on the beach by May 15th every year. So that process of estimating sand quantities that will need to be put on the beach are coming. The FIM project is a federally funded project. There's no initial cost to the town in terms of expenditure for the sand. There is a 4-year maintenance cycle, which a percentage does go to the local sponsor. So it's really important that we get that FIM project here in the first stages of the Fire Island to Montauk Point projects list. They did a webinar with a presentation on the proposed process for implementing the project. And instead of being in contract 1, we had gotten bumped to contract 3, completely unacceptable. We decided to take on the emergency stabilization project with assurances that the Fire Island to Montauk replenishment would be close on the heels of that project. It's now multiple years later. We've been assured all along we'd be number 1 because of that project. Now they're saying contract 3. We're certainly going to be contacting the state and our federal representatives, as well as the county, because the county's on the hook for half the costs of beach replenishment there right now. Any case, that's ongoing. That's a major, issue that we're also dealing with right at the moment.
Yeah, that sounds like a big one, and good luck with that, Peter. It's we're just about out of time here, so I'd like to say once again thank you for you and the board and the town really for your hard work in getting the vaccination, and obviously the work on the beaches that you've been doing. So I'll see you if not before, which I probably will, next week at the same time. Okay.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, it's really a community effort, and I just want to thank all the volunteers and my colleagues on the board and staff members who really all pulled together to make sure this vaccination site got up and running, and now keep it running with the quantities of vaccine that are now coming in. So again, visit ehtownvaccine.org and register. Thanks again, Michael, for all you do.
Thank you, Peter. See you next week.
All right, be well.